Hi, this is Deb Preachuk from Pain Free Posture, Minnesota. Today what I'm going to show you is one of my personal favorite stretch sequences, and I do this a lot before I do some of my own personal workouts. You're going to see a blend of traditional athletic active resistance stretching. You'll see a Nagoski exercise, you'll see a foundation training exercise, and then something that's a blend of Pilates and yoga. So what you're going to see me do is all of the positions. I'm not going to hold it for the prescribed amount of time, but simply show you the flow of going through that. So for every exercise, I suggest that you hold it for about 30 to 45 seconds and then transition into the next modification or the next exercise in the sequence. Once you've repeated that, go ahead and start this video over and do the other side. I hope you enjoy it. All right, here we go. So to get started, I often will start with the deep glute and outer hip rotation complex. So we set up the knees, sit bone distance apart, feet about 6 inches apart. I go ahead and roll myself down. We're going to start off using the right leg tonight. So we're going to draw that up to 90 degrees, focus on rotating the hip and the femur to clear the ankle over the outside edge of the opposing bottom knee. We're going to now take the arms out to the side. We want to close the rib cage to the pelvis and draw the navel to spine to draw the bottom leg directly up. You can let this free foot from this point just relax and hang down. You can do a palm up or a palm down variation, and you're going to actively use the bottom leg to draw the top leg in closer towards the chest. Continue to use a diaphragmatic breath, drop the rib cage down. After that 30 to 45 seconds, angle the free bottom foot over to the opposing gluteus. So now you've changed the line of pull just a little bit. Again, you're going to hold this for about 30 to 45 seconds. From there, you're going to take the arms and you're going to grab the opposite ankles, draw the shoulders down out of the rib cage, and thread those two knees towards one another. Now, I like to do two separate things here. I like to first draw both knees closer to the chest, and again, I work on my head scapular placement, but I also want to do this outward pull, like I'm trying to tie a knot. So it's an active resistance position. Use the breathing to your full advantage here. So 30 to 45 seconds. Once you've completed that, I release the tension, I release the arms, I unthread the legs, and I just lower the hip back down. Now from here I'm set up to go into the Nagoski variation of the hip crossover stretch. So I'm going to stretch my arms out to 180 degrees. I like to do the palm down variation. And from here you take a diaphragmatic breath in. You're going to pull both of your hips over to the opposite side. So if you have your right leg up, you're going to the left. Now you want to work on bringing your foot all the way down onto the floor. Once you're there, you turn and rotate and to look over your shoulder. Now the cue that I like to do a lot is, instead of thinking of placing the arch in my low back, which will occur, I like to cue from the femur. So you want to glide the femur towards the opposing bottom leg. So you're doing this femoral glide, and then you're going to actively resist and open. Now that will engage the lumbar extensors in this very stable neutral pelvis, and at the same time I can work on opening up my thoracic extension with rotation. So again, we're going to hold this for about 30 to 45 seconds. Now if you're doing this at home, if you feel like you're straining in the upper body, lower the arms down, and perhaps if your foot doesn't come all the way over to the floor, a modification would be to put a pillow underneath your knee. After that 30 to 45 seconds, you're going to exhale, draw the navel towards the spine, rotate. Now from here, I'm going to switch over and go into more of a foundation training position. So I'm going to cross both of my knees directly over top and lower my arms down, palms down. Now this is a little counterintuitive to what you've just done. My right leg is pulling both legs over to the right side, and I'm reaching now my left arm overhead. I'm keeping my head neutral. So I'm using a little bit of an outward tug. I'm working on stabilizing my scapula on this left side. Nice diaphragmatic breath in. To engage a little bit of active isolation, you can draw the arm up, turn the palm in, and do 8 to 10 upper torso flexions. This is more of a horizontal movement than it is a forward towards the knee position. So 8 to 10 of those, and return the arm and you will feel a distinct change in the stretch. Another 1 or 2 breaths in. Exhale, we'll rotate that back to center. From here, I'm going to unthread and go back into that rotation. Now draw the legs up and use that as a little bit of momentum to roll yourself up into a seated position. Now you're going to see an exercise that has a little bit of a blend of, say, some yoga in it, but you'll also see this exercise in the Mobility WOD series. So this is a nice global hip complex stretch. So I've got my right leg crossed on top of the left. I'm not trying to push this knee down at this point. I don't want to feel any strain in through the joint itself. But I'm just going to work on stacking my vertebra, and I'm going to reach the bottom leg, and I'm going to go over towards the top leg side. Now we're going to be getting a nice stretch through the rib cage. You'll be getting a little bit of the quadriceps lumborum, obviously the hip complex. And you'll see this done a variety of different ways, but I like to actually just do both arms. I like to just take it both directions. Okay, so anywhere again from that 30 to 45 seconds as a total for that. Now the top leg can come off. You're going to sweep it around into the back, and you'll see this position quite a bit in your Pilates type of sequencing. So from here, I'm going to lower myself back down, resting now on my left elbow. Squeeze through the gluteus, pressing the hip girdle forward. You're going to get a very nice hip flexor stretch in through the quadricep itself. Hold that there, a little bit of active resistance, and I like to, after about 30 seconds or so, reach the arm up, turn, and now add some rotation. Nice diaphragmatic breath, pulling the shoulder blade back and down. Now if you have enough time and you want to add on one more kick to it, then what you can do from here is you're set up to lay yourself straight down, straighten that bottom leg, top leg can come back. You're going to squeeze through the gluteus. Now you can do this on your side, angling the knee so it's not external, but angling it a little bit more parallel and working on pressing back. Or you could do the same thing by simply rolling onto your belly, pulling the heel towards the seat, drawing the shoulder blade down, and then doing an active kickback of your heel into your hand. From there, you could work on a little bit of extension as that foot presses through. So either of those two options into a nice shell stretch, and then I would repeat that entire series over, and that's a stretch sequence that I personally do very frequently. So I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have questions, you know where to find us. Thanks for watching.